So let's jump into my boy, Commander Class, War for Cybertron Kingdom, Rodimus Prime. Figure King Magazine, issue 278, hit recently all over Japan. We talked about it a few days ago, and we touched on it just lightly on the stream on Saturday, but now we have a whole bunch of high quality scan images of everything Transformer related in Figure King Magazine this late March. And man, I just want to talk about Rodimus here because now we got some really nice images. I was able to translate a lot of the text from the articles in relation to it. And yet again, extra layers of this onion are getting peeled back and being shown to us. So let's talk about it. What do we got here? Well, again, Transformers War for Cybertron, Commander Class, Kingdom, Rodimus Prime, Rodimus Convoy, as he's going to be sold in Japan, KD-12, his designation of the Takara-Tomy number. We got to see finally pretty much everything he's going to come with, maybe minus one or two extra energy parts or accessory parts, but otherwise all the little bells and whistles and gimmicks are being shown here. They finally show us the size difference between that of the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod to that of the Commander Class Rodimus, confirming that he is more of that Voyager to Leader Class scale that'll work with your Optimus Prime and everyone else. We finally got to see how the Matrix storage gimmick will work, something that people have been speculating for a while. So it will flip down and give you access to the Matrix of Leadership, which could be stored there or held in his hand. I've seen people complaining that that's not how his chest opens to store the Matrix of Leadership. I'm going to say this right now. Studio ACOM, which was the people that were primarily, and I use emphasis here, primarily in charge of Season 3 episodes of Generation 1, where was pretty much the only time you saw Hot Rod or Rodimus Prime's chest open to store the Matrix. That studio was known for its crazy inconsistencies from episode to episode, whether it be coloring, whether it be design, whether it be scale. They didn't know what was up from left, right, or center. Look, God bless Nelson Shin. Seems like a pretty cool dude, but his studio was not exactly known for quality. It was all about quantity with them. And, you know, that's just how it was, man. And when I say, you know, primarily it was Studio ACOM, because there also was a lot of episodes of Season 3 that were done by other studios too, which would then lead into more inconsistencies of how Rodimus Prime's chest should open up. Should it come top down? Is it something that opens up like a cupboard with two doors? Is it something that opens from the side? Is it just the flame itself that's the doorway? Is it the entire chest that flips down? There's so many different variations of that. And you even see that within that of previous Rodimus Prime toys that have opening chest cavities. You know, we were lucky to have the 86 movie with G1 Prime. And because that was done by Toei, and it just, you know, that's such an iconic moment that how do you not have that opening style for G1 Optimus Prime for his chest to access the Matrix? And it just got solidified even more and more when they did it in Beast Wars and moving forward with other toy versions. So that's kind of it, man. So, I mean, there is no right or wrong, in all honesty, with Rodimus, because there is no one consistency. Until you give me some high-quality, you know, animated movie that'll be the staple for how we do this Generation 1 character, I'm just going to go with this one. I don't mind it this way. That's how it's been done in some previous ones. That's how Big Convoy was done. That's how a lot of guys it was done. Sometimes it flips up, sometimes it flips down. I'm just happy that it's there. I'm happy that it works, and I'm happy that the Matrix could be stored there. Nice little extra gimmick to a character that is near and dear to my heart, to say the least. We also get to see how the Sword of Primus is stored, so you could also store it on his back, which is pretty cool, as well as his Photon Eliminator, his gun. It could be folded up and stored on his side, on his back, so he could be, you know, backpacking a whole bunch of stuff with that nice big Studio Aux spoiler that he has on his back there. They show the articulation, so he has nice finger articulation. He's able to point and go, "This is the end of the road, Galvatron." So you could reenact the classic 1986 line from Judd Nelson. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. They show also him holding the Matrix of Leadership with the energy accessory put on it. So the Matrix of Leadership is a standalone accessory, and it has a energy piece that clips onto it. It's exclusive to this version. It's not like the one that came with the previous Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Moving to the alt mode, some images here and there, nothing too shocking. They pretty much showed images side by side with the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod to kind of give us a better indication of some different display ways and storage ways. It shows how you could have the photon eliminator stored on the side of the Hot Rod car mode that's separated from the trailer. It shows that the base mode, you could have the turret removed from the inside of the base mode, and it could be put on the roof of the truck mode. Doesn't really make much sense, but sure, that's what it is. It's also, by the way, that turret is what was called the battery in that original rollout of accessories, so he doesn't have like actual batteries. That's called a turret battery, so kind of some housekeeping on that to explain what was going on with that wording in Japan. It also, because it's removable, it creates a more similar kind of trailer playset to that of the G1 Optimus Prime or Convoy, where it could be also kind of a repair bay, where the original toy didn't have that ability to remove the turret, so you didn't have that kind of play pattern. And they used that too to show how big the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod sits in it. It has a flip-down kind of trailer hitch piece, again, with a connection point that you could still attach your Cybertronian roads or City Modulator Micromaster playsets. Again, that was going to be a big part of the play pattern, so it's pretty cool to see that too. We had John Warden trolling, Hasbro's John Warden trolling on Twitter, saying that the primary reason why we needed to have Rodimus Prime be a commander class is because we wanted to have those little hydraulics on that back hitch of his trailer mode. Again, he's not part of the Transformers brand anymore. He's now working with Power Rangers. So kind of, I guess, I can only imagine him on Twitter having to filter through all the different messages that are sent to him in relation to his work with Transformers before he switched to the Power Ranger stuff. So it just is little, right to the jugular for some fans that I'm pretty sure have been bugging him like crazy on a nonstop basis. So especially when they were not happy with Commander Class Rodimus being a Commander Class and not being a leader or a Voyager. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, but again, I have a bit of a bias, primarily because it's one of my favorite characters, and I've always said that the more expensive a price point gets, I find that's where you get more drama and volatility. It's the same thing with what happened with Unicron and how people wanted to see it fail. It's the same thing with a lot of other larger Titan classes where a lot of people just wait for like a cheaper, smaller version. And I mean, a popular and well-known and staple character like Rodimus Prime, especially in this day and age, people want him to be more affordable, I guess. Look, do I want to have to spend so much money? I don't think anyone does. But at the same time, I also feel that the past two commander classes, both Siege, Jetfire, and Skylynx, have gone on sale in the past. I'm surprised everyone forgets when Skylynx went on pre-order and he was $49.99 on clearance already from Walmart. Man, that was a deal in itself right there. But let's talk about release and price also. So this is the Japanese magazine prices and release dates. So they're saying August 2021 and a Japanese MSRP yen currency of 13,000 yen, which when you factor in exchange rate, it's about $118, which I'll say this right now, don't buy it through the Japanese route. That'll be the more expensive route. Commander classes historically in the past, I guess we'll call them two waves, if you will, of Jetfire and that of Skylynx have been a price history of an MSRP of $79.99. Obviously some wiggle room depending on where you're buying from. When you start talking about more of the secondary market and large online stores, that's where the numbers get kind of foggy. All of a sudden you're going to, again, I don't want to call out anybody. You go to certain online stores and it's going to be 150 and 120. But that's more just, they're making their profit from buying from their distributors. So I could kind of understand why those pricing are like that. But keep in mind, there will be better price options in the future. Again, I know there'll be sales at some point. Again, I know that there's probably going to be opportunities to pick this up in store at the regular MSRP. So don't get too excited and run out and start buying it online from a lower tier distributor or big online store that might be charging way more than you need to. These will be available. They'll be out there. And the beautiful thing is, big product like this that are expensive, the scalpers are more kind of nervous to buy because they take more space. They're a bigger investment, and sometimes it doesn't pay off for them. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. People were able to find their Skylinks, and people were able to find their Jetfires. So it'll be the same thing with Rodimus here for sure. And in my opinion, I think that, despite the fact that I love Rodimus Prime, I think that, his popularity in terms of a mainstream purchase power, it will probably be equal to that of Skylinks or that of a Jetfire. I'm not saying he's he's not as popular as some of those other characters. I mean, I still think Rodimus is probably slightly more popular than Skylinks, but I'm saying from a buying power and what people were excited to purchase, it's great. It's great. I don't know what else more to say, really. I think it just looks great, and I think that this is probably going to be the last conversation we're going to have about this character, short of what Hasbro might show us that might be some kind of new twist on this figure that we haven't seen yet on April 9th during their Fan Fest online. But that's still, a couple of days away, a week and so we'll definitely discuss it then if there's something new. But I really think that more or less we've seen everything that needs to be said or seen about this, and it's pretty exciting. And again, thankfully, Figure King magazine took a beautiful photo shoot. Again, a lot of the information that's in the text here I've translated. It's nothing too out of the ordinary, just pretty much confirming the articulation in different areas and how weapon storage is going to be done, price assortment, scale, release date, gimmicks, all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I'm excited. Looks really cool. I remember when the Power of the Primes Rodimus came out, I was excited because it was a different twist on the character, even though using that same traditional Generation 1 feel for it. This is something that's going more towards what we've been waiting for since 1996 when the Classics line was invented, and we got that first Hot Rod toy, and we were going, when are we going to get our first true Classics Rodimus toy? All those years later, think about it. It was 2006 when the Classics line was invented. 2006. Isn't that crazy? All those years ago. And now we're here. And finally it's happened. And I hope people are going to like it. I hope that... I hope people that are going to enjoy what we see here. I know I will. Let me know what you think. And hopefully we'll get some more information. And it'll be easy to get for a lot of people when that time comes.